I'm talking to you. Not all, not all, not everyone, but far too many black people are some of the least self-aware people on the face of the planet. Many of us are very insecure, we're very impressionable, and we're very passionate about what we believe. We have a pop culture that is insanely invested in manipulating our sensibilities. And you can see this in every aspect of our so-called culture, from politicians to entertainers to athletes to our church leaders. Every aspect of our culture dictates to us how we should feel. And when you have a people as insecure and as highly impressionable as we tend to be, excuse me, there is a very high risk for manipulation through these things. And so we find ourselves cast in the role of perpetual victimhood, where we constantly see ourselves in need of help, in need of a solution, in need of a savior. And it never dawns on us that every step of the way, we have the option of rising above or meeting our challenges ourselves. A lot of us, we find ourselves constantly looking to our government for help, to our entertainers for advice, to our church for salvation. And there's nothing wrong with any of these things. I mean, all of us need help from time to time. But to be manipulated to the point that we are today, it takes a deliberate attempt. And I want to talk about this, and I've been talking about this for years, but I feel that we have a example here that I don't believe we should overlook, because it really implies a lot as relation to what I talk about here on this channel. So I want to get into this, guys. I want to talk once again about Anthony Mackie. All right, let's do it. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Remember, guys, you can hit the like, dislike, share, subscribe, and if you care to, donate to the channel through the Super Thanks feature on all of my videos. All right, guys, we want to talk about that man, that very person, the same person that brought you the wisdom that said that Captain America shouldn't represent America, Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie found himself on the Pivot podcast, and he was giving an interview. And he said something very simple. Actually, he said a few things. And I want to point this out, guys, because this is a very dangerous concept, especially in this day and age. So I saw this on Twitter, on X, yesterday, and I want to talk about it. Let's talk about one of the things that Anthony Mackie had to say, because this man, he's actually a really good example of contradiction, you know? But let's talk about this one thing first, okay? Anthony Mackie, he's talking about success, and I guess what it takes to have success, how it relates to kids. And I want you to pay attention to every word that's being said here, because I see a lot of people are trying to explain this away. Listen to the words. Anthony Mackie says, your black Captain America says, we're lying to our kids. We're lying to our kids. That's a big problem in our community. We tell our kids if they do right, and they make good grades, and they go to the programs, they will become successful. If you work hard enough, your work will be paid off. And that's not true. Success is given. It's not earned. Okay? We're lying to our kids. That's a big problem in our community. We tell our kids if they do right and they make the good grades and they go to the programs, they will become successful. If you work hard enough, your work will be paid off. That's not true. Success is given. It's not earned. This is a message from Anthony Mackie, your Black Captain America. All right, guys. Of course, you're going to get in the comment section and tell me how you feel about this. Like I said, there's more than one way to look at this. There's a couple of things, right, that I observe here. The first thing, like offhand, before even diving deep into this, I would say that it sounds like Anthony Mackie has been on the unfriendly side of a relationship with Harvey Weinstein or somebody like him in the industry. He seems to be a little bit frustrated if you listen to the whole thing. And I'm going to put the link in the pinned comment below. But he seems a little bit frustrated because he's talking about how he's been in this project. He's been a stage actor. He's been in movies that got nominated for Oscars. And he's Captain America. And there are people out there who are very talented who never make it, which is, of course, is something that we all know. You know, not everybody who attempts to do something succeeds in doing what it is that they're doing, especially in his line of work. And that's something that I hear a lot of people saying, well, he's talking about acting. He's talking about his experience in acting. And listen, dude, that's not what he said. That's why I said pay attention to the words. Okay, you can try to interpret it whatever way you want to. Maybe he meant it that way. But you guys know, on this channel, I've talked a lot of times about how I feel as a father. It's something that motivates every single one of my videos, you know, every single one of my talking points. When you start off by saying we're lying to our kids, yeah, bro, you're going to get my attention with that one. Okay. I tell my son since he was a little baby, if he does right, if he makes good grades, there's a good chance he'll become successful. You have to work for what it is that you get in life. In other words, if you work hard enough, your work will be paid off. He's saying that's not true. All right. That puts him in my crosshairs because that's always been my experience. Now, I don't have the highest paying job in the world. I don't walk red carpets and everything like that, but I have worked hard since I was 14, 15 years old. And depending on how you measure success, I consider myself to be a very successful human being. I'm not the richest person. I'm not living some lavish lifestyle, but I am content with my life. Yeah, I think everyone who knows me knows that I work too hard. You know that. I probably shouldn't be working as hard as I do, but it's something that I choose to do because of the things that I want to provide for my son, being a single father, right? I feel like I'm succeeding in that, God willing. But Anthony Mackie, he has this message that says that hard work doesn't pay. Success is given, not earned. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into this statement. You have to put this in social context here. And you have to understand, we are living in an age where people at the very sight, on sight of a black person will say, DEI didn't earn it, right? So Anthony Mackie is saying success is given, not earned. Very interesting considering all of these showbiz people, which is what I was talking about before, all of these showbiz people, as they relate to the black community, are always trying to steer us in one direction. And that direction would be to the left, to the left. All you black people, just go to the left. Everyone is supposed to go to the left. Everyone is supposed to be under the influence of the American Society of Magical Liberals. That's the way it works, right? So when you have this DEI curse or stigma that's hanging over the black community, you would think that anyone who wants to work hard would be encouraged. Who wants to prove, who wants to earn their way would be encouraged. But this man comes with this message today for the kids. Keep in mind, he's saying we're lying to the kids. It doesn't matter if they do right. It doesn't matter if they get good grades. Success is given. It's given to you. It's not earned. Now, considering he's on the Pivot podcast and he's talking to black men in this podcast here, when you say success is given, who would be the giver? All right, we already know the givee. Black people, we're supposed to be the ones who are being given something. Success is being given. It's given. Obviously, it's not being earned according to him. It's being given to black people. Who are the givers? Interesting, isn't it? What the givers are probably supposed to be your liberal handlers, your Democratic handlers, because that's who we have a whole industry, several industries that's dedicated to moving black people in that direction, to the left. Steve Harvey in the morning. From the moment you wake up, you got Steve Harvey, you got that other clown, D.L. Hughley. You got all of these people drumming these ideas into your head. You watch a basketball game, you got LeBron James, your sports people telling you which way to think. You're a victim. You're a victim. You're a victim. That's all you ever hear. Other people outside of the community, they might wonder, why are black people so insufferable? Why are they so determined to be victims? We are programmed from the moment we're born to be this way. And anyone who says anything different is a coon. You can go on and call me a coon. I've talked about this on videos before. These days, I take it as a compliment, because all it means is that I escaped. I got away from that way of thinking. I feel like I have a hand in my life. I'm nobody's victim. Nobody's victim at all. Everything that I do, from the moment I open my eyes to the minute I close them at night, those are my choices. If I mess up, if I make mistakes, that's on me. And I have to learn how to live with it. I have to learn how to do better. I want to work hard to do better. Nothing is given to me. Nothing. I've earned everything my entire life. And this is what I teach my child. And you have this bastard who comes along and says, it's a lie. Nothing is earned. You can't earn anything. It's only given. In this day and age where people are laughing at black people because we're just DEI hires, this man is telling you that's right. Success is given. It's not earned. And I hear people, once again, the same way they did when he said Captain America shouldn't represent America, trying to explain it away. Well, to be fair, he's kind of right. Dude, I told you, listen to the words. Don't make your own interpretation here. The man said we're lying to our kids, period. We're lying to our kids, period. That's the first sentence. The last sentences are success is given. It's not earned. If you work hard enough, your work will be paid off, and that's not true. This is the message that he wants to give to the black community. This is what I'm talking about. This is shameful. Shameful in every responsible, every virtuous, thinking, conscionable black person who hears this needs to push back on that, because that's what's wrong in our community today. We don't have that sense of responsibility, accountability, self-awareness. We listen to our celebrities and our entertainers and our politicians and our church leaders who are so heavily invested in telling us that we're victims, victims, victims. And we always have to have our hands out all the time, because you can't earn your success. Someone has to give it to you. And once again, what the hell kind of message is that for our children who wake up every day? I don't even know what to say, man. I tried to be as reserved as possible, but this thing really, really, really got under my skin. When you tell a father that they're lying to their kids when they tell them to work hard, to get good grades. When you say you're lying, when you say that you can't earn your way, all I can say is fuck you, Anthony Mackie. Fuck you. Go back to your handler. Go back to your master. Go back to whoever put these words inside of your mouth to spew out to these people, because they put you out there, man. They put you out there. You're on the cover of that book, A Hero Who Looks Like Me. That's you. You don't say these words lightly, bro. Not at all, because you have a much bigger platform than I do. I'm looking at an industry, like I said, an industry of church leaders, an industry of politicians, an industry of celebrities. All of them make up for billions of views on my videos. All I'm getting is something like 150, 200, 300. And you understand why? Because I'm a lone voice. Let me correct that. I'm not a lone voice. There's a lot of people out here who feel this way. But all together, all of us together, we don't add up to a fraction of what the negative voices are saying. The counterproductive voices are much louder. And this is the reason why from my very first video, I said, I don't do this because I like to hear myself talk. I do this because after a while I realized those who know better have been silent for way too long. And those who haven't been have been speaking up way too long, way too loudly, and they've gained way too much influence. And all I am here to do is put a message in a bottle and throw it out there and hope maybe one person hears it and tells it to somebody else, who tells it to somebody else who's able to get a bigger platform than me. I'm just trying to help plant those seeds. But yes, as you guys can tell, that really pissed me off. But I'm trying not to rant. I'm trying not to cuss the way I used to back in the day. Shows a little bit of growth, right? You proud of me? I'm trying. But anyway, this video has gone on. It's gone on a long time, so I'm gonna cut it short. And you guys can get in the comment section and let me know what you have to say about Anthony Mackie's statement. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.